So it's back to playing with diffs. This is the modified MUX diff. That's the patrol diff. I'm cutting all my mounts off. So not many to go. Coil mounts, Panhard mount, and sway bar mounts, which are there. It's got that to go, and then weld it out, get it blasted and painted. Had some questions about what diff center I'm using. So this one, that's still the 3.7 Isuzu diff center, came with it. That's they call it GT4 diff. But over here, this is a GT5 diff. So this is a 4:1 ratio. You can hold an Isuzu diff. They come out in the earlier models. On here it will say, right there, D-Max diff 4:1 GT5. It's not out of a 2014. The guy I bought it off said the wreck is stuffed up and sold him the wrong center. They guaranteed it was out of a 2014, but it's not. All 2014s had a 3.7. So it's out of an older, so they come out in either an automatic 3-litre turbo diesel Colorado with the 4J, or the 2-wheel drive petrols had them as well, but they all bolt straight in. So I'm getting there with the mounts, got them on now. Just need to put on the coil holders. They sit on these bits here. One goes there, one goes there. So I got all the mounts on the diff now. I'm just welding it out real slow. If you get it too hot, it'll pretty much bend your diff once the welds cool back down. Just weld shrink. But it's getting there, and then hopefully it'll go to paint very soon. So the diff's finally done. So everything's on, it's all welded out now. Just took ages to weld it as couldn't get too hot. As you'll see, it's all stop start welds on the bracing everywhere. Like in there, all stop starts. So I'll do a little bit on this side, I'll go to the other side of the diff, do a bit there, keep it cool, and then it cools down and I'll do another weld. Hopefully it's straight, otherwise I'll be pretty much putting in a bent diff. Plan is, I'll wrap to paint it, so I'll get someone to blast it for me and I'll paint it before it goes in the car. All right, so I've had a lot of people ask me how I did my intercooler. So I'll just run you through it. So what we have is a 600 by 300 by 100 thick Aeroflow. Got it off Spares Box. It was $280. I knew there'd be cutting involved before I put it in, but I was prepared to do it. So what I had to do is, where you see this fold, that was part of the body and actually ran straight down through where that would have been. So that's got to be a 3mm LE sheet there, just a bit of like a fluke, just for the fan to suck air through the intercooler. But how all this is cut out, so that's been cut with a grinder, and I've pinch welded it. But to do it, I pulled the headlight out because there's no way you'd get in there with a grinder. And same on the other side. So you cut these corners out. And then also this elbow, that was a 3-inch to 2-inch, 3-inch to 2.5-inch reducer, and I've cut heaps off that too, just so I get the smallest radius going into the engine bay. And even then, on this side, it still just hits the headlight. So I probably cut a little bit more off, but we'll see what happens. It might wear through, but. And then from there, it was pretty much just bought some 2.5-inch aluminium bends off eBay just as a kit. It was like $200, and then just made my own intercooler pipes for both sides. That's pretty much it. And for the mounts for intercooler, all this, I just made that all myself. That's just out of some stainless flat bar. It's only 3mm thick by 40 wide. Horns had to be moved to make that fit. But yeah, that's just 90 screwed into there, screwed into the top of the intercooler with the Boss. I put the bonnet latch on it so that wouldn't shake around. And then I've also come down with it in front of the radiator, in front of the intercooler. Welded this little bit coming off to hold this front bar. Otherwise that was real floppy. So I drilled that out, put a bolt in there. And that comes underneath. It comes down there, goes into that. There's like threaded nuts already in the body there, so I use them. And for the bottom of the intercooler, that's just a bit overkill, but that's 10 by 100, I think. Ali flat bar, and just made like a T-piece with it. And put that in there to hold the bottom so it does not move. That's pretty much it. It would probably be a bull bar off job to do it, but I had my bull bar off when I did it, and then just headlights off and just went for it, made it fit. So also since my car's been on the road, I've done a few more other mods. I've finished off my tow bar, so that can have a winch in it, but I haven't got a winch in there yet, but I'll get one soon. I have a dual battery kit, so it's just a kick-ass 120 amp hour and Redarc BC-DC. Also fitted a power steering cooler right there, because after a good full drive sesh, I'd pretty much just lose power steering. Like, it'd go real heavy, can't really turn. So you put that in, went for a 4B today, and it worked. So I didn't lose power steering at all. So it's worked good. And that's about it. You're probably wondering why my tray's not done either. So I'm currently waiting on my long range fuel tank, which will sit in there. And because it'll be higher, it'll take up more of that room. So what I was going to do is put the long range tank in, whatever room I've got left under here, I was building a water tank, and then I wasn't going to put a floor on my tray so I could work through it to build my water tank and mount it. And once that's done, I was going to sheet the tray and then paint it, and the tray's done. So I'm waiting on my fuel tank, and then when that's here, I can finish my tray, and that's why it's not done. And once my tray's done, I will finish off my canopy. So what the idea is this dog box, and just be that sort of fly screen mesh, it'll be lockable, but it won't be sealed. And this is a 1200 canopy that will be fully sealed, lockable, everything, and that will just be kitted out with pretty much just kitchen stuff and storage. I'll probably just mount solar panels on top of that, as we'll just be swagging it. I don't like rooftops. I had one and I sold it. yeah.